So the Wizards took Will Riley at pick 21, right? And we did so by trading back 3 spots. While a fan favorite was on the board in Asa Newell, a front court mate to possible Alex Sarr, we know the drill. Which left most of us dazed and confused. Kind of myself included. Actually, there's receipts of me being dazed and confused about this pick live on the stream. So, but after doing more research on this kid, I'm just like, nah. Bruh, we may have a hidden gem in our hands with him.
I like to watch a lot of Shea, just his footwork and his ability to create his own shot. I feel like he can get to his spots is very important. I also like to watch a lot of Tyrese Halliburton. His playmaking ability is like no other, I feel. I feel like my playmaking ability is really underrated. I didn't really get too many on-the-ball reps this year, so I feel like there's a lot more to show in that aspect, but I am a very good playmaker.
This guy is 6'8", classified as a wing. Everything about this man screams guard. He has a guard mentality. This man was a 5'9". He was a 5'9" point guard in COVID. After COVID ended, huge growth spurt, man is 6'6" now. Like, who's to say he's still growing? Like, he could be possibly still growing. Like, by the end of this video, he could be like fucking 7'4". He's only 19 years old. Okay, he was born February 10th, 2006. Yeah, I went there. I did the past 2 days, dude. It's been all Will Riley in my life. His favorite Outkast album is Southern Playlist, the Cadillac Music. I mean, he's right. So yeah, man. In this video, I did a lot of research about Will Riley. It's gonna be one of my most serious videos. No dicking around here. No. I don't want to dick. No, I don't want to dick around. It's just Will Riley, man. I'm telling y'all, give this man a shot. We may have something special. But yeah, man, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I would truly appreciate it. Last year, he was the Big Ten Sixth Man of the Year. He set the Illinois freshman record for points in a debut with 31 points against Eastern Illinois, and later broke the program's freshman NCAA tournament scoring mark with 22 in a round 1 win over Xavier. In the beginning of that sentence, he was sixth man. He made 9 starts last year out of 35 games, and this is his overall stats, all right? And his overall stats, some combine results, I'm going to read it all out to you guys. He averaged 12.6 points, 4.1 rebounds, 2.2 assists, and I'm going to get to those assist part later on in this video. Albeit, 43% from the field, but 32% from the 3, but I'm going to get to that a little bit later on as well. Because actually, no, I'm going to get to it right now. The head coach of Illinois said this in a recent interview that Will Riley actually shot 70,000 threes last year during their whole offseason program / practices and stuff like that. I'm just like, they're pretty confident in his 3-point projection. Considering how much work he's putting into his shot, 70,000 threes throughout the entire year, not during the season. That's insane, but you know what I mean. But anyways, he brought that up, and I was just like, holy, I'm actually really bullish on his 3-point shot going forward in the NBA. But anyways, 6'8", 186 pounds, 19 years old, a vertical of 32 inch. His wingspan though, he's 6'8", has a wingspan of 6'8" as well. He got those T-Rex arms. Let's just be straightforward. Maybe, if he continues to grow, I think his wingspan's pretty much cooked. But the overall consensus on Will Riley is that, he's a guy who scores in a variety of ways, operates as a big wing who shoots off the dribble, uses touch shots, and leverages his frame around the basket. But this sentence I want to emphasize to you guys. He flashed some playmaking ability. In every report you read about Will Riley, they're talking about his playmaking ability. Flashes. And I'm here to tell y'all, bruh, that's one of the parts of his games I'm actually pretty confident in.
He's as talented offensively as any player that I've coached other than Michael Beasley. I was an assistant at Kansas State when Mike was there, and Will's very gifted on that end of the court. Great playmaker, great facilitator, tremendous upside. So Wizards got a good one.
Coach of Illinois is super bullish on this kid, especially offensively in the NBA. Super bullish, saying he's going to translate. He even said he could possibly have all-star potential in the NBA. Now, I don't know if that happens, then holy hell. But, just saying that, I don't know. Michael Beasley, say what you want about him. This man, he was an offensive menace during his heyday. sucks it didn't really translate towards the NBA. But anyways, going over to his background though, Will Riley, he bounced around several high schools before spending the final 2 years of his high school career at the Phelps School in Malvern, where he established himself as one of the best Canadian prospects. In fact, most of the specialized outlets ranked him as a top 15 player in the 2025 class. And, one comparison I keep seeing for him on the web is Keyshawn George. Keyshawn George, kind of like the similar story. He had a huge growth spurt. Keyshawn George said multiple times last year in interviews that he feels like he's just getting accustomed to his new body. Okay, he's 6'8", and, it's the same thing with Will Riley. The only thing is Will Riley is 2 years younger than Keyshawn George. Keyshawn's 21. Will Riley's 19 years old. So, Will Riley's coming out much more raw than Keyshawn George. But, just a lot of similarities there. We both see the playmaking ability that these two kids have. I want to continue on to Will Riley regarding his strengths. Because they're saying, obviously, first things first, his positional size. 6'8". Again, it's 6'8" wingspan, but 6'8", and who's to say he's still growing? I wouldn't be surprised he's 6'9" by next year. Remember, Bilal Coulibaly had that growth spurt after his first year, so it's possible. It's possible. And also regarding his scoring versatility, a lot of people keep commending him for that, how he just, he can operate as a big wing who can catch and shoot off the dribble, use his touch shot, and activate his frame around the basket. And it keeps talking about the playmaking potential. He averaged 2.2 assists per game last year, in his first year. And I keep thinking to myself, I think he can very well be the secondary ball handler in a lineup. He has that. And that's like a point guard in high school, Will Riley was. But anyways, let me continue on reading on his overall strengths. Shot 61% at the rim and is great in isolation. Effective pick and roll operator who manages the offense with poise. Smart cutter and off the ball mover. And also high offensive basketball IQ and feel. Makes timely rotations and reads on both ends. Maintains a good assist to turnover balance with a 2.5 assist to turnover ratio. Especially solid for a scoring wing. Doesn't over dribble and fits well in off-ball systems. Shows maturity in playing structured offense. So you see the overall versatility that this kid has in offense. But let's get to his weaknesses first before I continue on. Weaknesses, first off, is defensive upside. He only had 9 steals and 10 blocks all year long last year. Okay, now, is that indicative of what his will is on defense? We don't know yet, but, 9 steals and 10 blocks all year long last year. His burst, scouts question how well he'll be able to turn the corner and separate against NBA opponents. He also struggled with shot consistency from deep off the dribble. Subpar post game with the poor efficiency. Finishing through physicality remains inconsistent. But I'm going to get to regarding his frame a little bit later on in this video. His jump shot diet leans heavily on long twos and tough shots. Overall shot quality is okay with good range. That should be used more, but that could be coached up. Lacks a reliable floater or a mid-range counter when pushed off his spots. Defensive recovery and screen navigation still developing. Still improving his handle in traffic and particularly against elite on-ball pressure. Yeah, his handling. Yeah, like I was saying, with his handle, again, he's still learning his new body. I always refer back to Keyshawn George. He's getting accustomed to his new body. His 6'8" frame, and apparently, I wouldn't be. I keep saying this. I wouldn't be surprised he's 6'9". I found this clip. Remember, speaking about his frame, how he talked about his overall weight frame when he first joined Illinois and when he first left.
What I need to work on is probably my physicality right now, just gaining a little bit more weight, which I'm capable of doing because obviously I did it at Illinois. I came in at 170 and left at 190. So
he was 170 when he joined, left at 190. So I'm not concerned, honestly, about him putting on weight. It's more of just keep hitting the gym. Yeah, he knows the drill. He said, he said in his interview, his favorite thing to do is eat. So, I'm not worried about his frame. I feel like he's going to fill out to his frame later on. Like he said, he's only 19 years old. He's only 19 years old, but he's going to fill out his frame. I also wanted to read to you guys 2 scout reports regarding Will Riley that I feel like you guys should hear about this. The first thing, here's a pro scout on Will Riley. I'm going to read it to you guys in verbatim. How about that? He was supposed to be a 6'8" point guard, but that hasn't really panned out. His numbers aren't great, and he hasn't been playing as a point guard much at all. That being said, he has a good frame, which helps him on defense, and he's shown flashes of being aggressive. I think he should stay in college. His numbers aren't what they need to be, and he's not starting. His shooting percentages are poor, and while he has the physical tools to succeed at the next level, being a 6'8" guard, he hasn't shown the point guard skills people expected. It's been a weird season for him, and the hype around him being a 6'8" point guard just hasn't materialized yet. Now, this report was actually a couple months ago. One thing I keep thinking to myself is just like, okay, the head coach is giving glaring offensive reviews regarding this kid, and the head coach is very confident regarding his playmaking ability. Will Riley himself is supremely confident regarding his playmaking ability. Every interview you hear about him is him talking about his playmaking ability. I'm more inclined to feel like Will Riley and the head coach know something, obviously, than what the outside thinks of him. They know his potential regarding his playmaking. And I also read a report saying that had Will Riley stayed in college one more year, he would have been a lottery pick. Will Dawkins has this trend of picking up guys who have, late growth spurts and trying to attain them before, like, I guess you can say they blow up in the scouting reports or in the draft combine, or before they even blow up the next year in college. You see it with Key, you see it even maybe with Bub. And I'm just like, no, this guy kind of fits along with that mindset and that mold that Will Dawkins covets. I feel like Will Dawkins is rolling the dice early on this kid, banking on his development with us, banking on his upside with us. And I feel like that's a good roll of the dice. Because if he does end up like projecting to be a guy who could have been a lottery pick next year, hey man, kudos to Will Dawkins. But anyways, another report I found on him, and I'll read to you guys out loud. Despite the limited minutes he had as a bench player, Riley showed the ability to score near the rim and handle isolation plays, and his frame will develop him to succeed at the next level in individual duels, particularly if he stays as a guard and is not moved to a forward role. Again, everything is just screaming, just this guy is a guard. But like, I don't know. To me, he's more of like a wing guard, but mostly wing. Come on, 6'8". He might be 6'9". Come on, bro. But overall with him, my take is Will Dawkins is banking on the upside and banking on the development, which I feel confident in with the coaching staff we have, the healthy environment we have, the veterans that we have in our roster. And I keep saying this in my videos, there's a certain consistency that Will Dawkins covets in each of these players, and that's their mindset. And Will Riley fits that mold. He has that competitive edge that all of our dudes have, that Bub Carrington has, that Keyshawn George has, that Bilal Coulibaly has. Like, look at this clip.
Will's got a great competitive nature. He is, I said all along, he's got a gangster mentality when it comes to competing and winning. And he gets that from his mom. His dad's a track coach. Yep. Loves to win at everything, whether it's a shooting drill or it's playing 5-on-5. So
if you have the size, 6'8", you have the talent, the scoring versatility that he has, and he has the overall mindset that he wants to be great, the competitive nature, that's a recipe for success. Will Dawkins is banking on the upside and banking on development, which with a guy like him, I am more than willing to roll the dice with. If you have all the talent in the world and you have the mindset of a freaking bum and all you care about is just going to the freaking club, you ain't gonna be shit. This guy is not. He's sitting at home listening to Southern Playlist of Cadillac music while freaking getting ready to ball at 4 p.m. He has the mentality. So, hey man, I'm super bullish on this pick. I went from being dazed and confused to now just like, no, we may have something with him. We may have really stumbled upon something with him. I love that trade. Trading back 3 spots, getting a second round pick, which ended up being Jameer Watkins, getting 2 future second round picks, and getting your man at pick 21 when you would have gotten at pick 18. And not only that, well, I put this in my previous video. The Wizards, Will Riley said that the Wizards have actually been one of the teams that have been following him for the past 2 years since Will Dawkins joined us. Telling you, we've been following this kid for a while. We got him. Will Dawkins knows a lot more, and he's more inclined with the Illinois head coach. My dumbass forgot his name, and they know, Will Dawkins, Illinois head coach, and Will Riley, they know something, and they see something in this kid that I feel like not that many people noticed. But yeah, man, let me know what you guys think. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I truly appreciate it. Till next video, peace, y'all.